For a decade, the Premier League used one set of financial rules to control spending. The Profitability and Sustainability Rules, or PSR, capped losses at £105 million over a rolling 3-year period. 4 clubs broke these rules. Everton breached PSR by £19.5 million. A points deduction landed mid-season and dropped them into a relegation fight overnight. A second breach months later cost them another 2 points. 8 points gone in a single campaign for decisions made years earlier by people no longer at the club. Nottingham Forest breached by £34.5 million, 4-point deduction. Chelsea ran a £47.5 million shadow payment system over 7 years and stretched player contracts to 9 years to hide costs on the books. They cooperated with the investigation and received a £10.75 million fine, no points deduction. In fact, no sporting sanction of any kind. And of course, we are still waiting to see what punishment Manchester City will receive for their 115 charges. The verdict is expected at some point in 2026. Same rules, 4 clubs, 4 different outcomes. In November 2025, the Premier League voted to scrap PSR and replace it with the Squad Cost Ratio, or SCR. PSR was retrospective. Clubs filed accounts after the season, breaches surfaced months later, and punishments landed mid-campaign, changing the table long after the spending decisions were made. Everton's deduction reshaped the relegation battle in real time, affecting every club around them. Players and fans absorbed consequences for financial decisions they had no part in. The system was supposed to deter overspending. Instead, it punished the wrong people at the wrong time. You could argue that Chelsea was the club that finally broke the model. Under Todd Boehly, they found loophole after loophole. Transfer fees were amortized over the length of a player's contract. A £70 million player on a 5-year deal costs £14 million a year on the books. The same player on an 8-year deal costs £8.75 million. Chelsea handed out contracts of 7, 8, and even 9 years, keeping their annual figures within limits while their actual spending skyrocketed. Another trick was that selling assets to other companies, even if they were owned by the same people, still counted as revenue. Chelsea sold 2 hotels at Stamford Bridge to a sister company for £76.5 million, and their women's team to a parent company for £200 million. Everton and Aston Villa ran similar deals with their women's teams. On paper, income. In practice, moving money between entities controlled by the same people. Manchester City's case is the largest, charged in February 2023 with 115 breaches covering 9 years of alleged wrongdoing. City have spent 3 years contesting the charges. A 12-week hearing ran through the autumn of 2024. 15 months later, no verdict has been published. City have also mounted a separate legal challenge to the league's associated party transaction rules, threatening to weaken the Premier League's ability to police deals between clubs and their owners. If that challenge succeeds, it could undermine the enforcement mechanism behind SCR before the system even begins. The vote to replace PSR passed 14-6 in November 2025, barely clearing the 2/3 majority. SCR measures what a club spends on its squad as a proportion of what it earns. Squad costs cover player wages, head coach wages, agent fees, and amortized transfer fees. Everything outside the squad, backroom staff, stadium operations, academy running costs, sits outside the calculation. That squad total cannot exceed 85% of the club's revenue, which includes broadcast money, matchday income, commercial deals, and the net profit or loss from player sales. Sell academy graduates for a profit and the spending cap goes up with it. Revenue from women's teams and academies counts toward the total, but their costs are excluded, which incentivizes investment in both. Below 85%, a club is compliant. Above it, there is a 30-point buffer before sporting sanctions apply. Between 85% and 115%, a club pays a financial levy. Above 115%, a club faces a 6-point deduction that increases by 1 point for every £6.5 million over the line. The buffer tightens with use. A club that hits 100%, 15 points over the limit, starts the following season with its red, or max, threshold at 100% instead of 115%. Overspend even slightly from there and the points deduction triggers. Each compliant season recovers 10 points of the buffer. 2 changes close the biggest PSR loopholes. Amortization is capped at 5 years regardless of the contract length, and asset sales to related companies no longer count as revenue. Monitoring happens in season with a formal check on March 1st. Breaches trigger sanctions within the same campaign, so it does sound sensible at first glance. The problem with tying spending to revenue is that the revenue gap in the Premier League is enormous. A club earning £700 million can spend £595 million on its squad. A club earning £150 million can only spend £127.5 million. The difference, nearly £470 million, is baked into the structure. Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, Manchester United, Tottenham and Chelsea can outspend the rest of the league without going anywhere near the cap. And the clubs that earn the most are the ones that have been earning the most for decades. There was actually a proposal to compress this gap. Top to bottom anchoring would have capped any club spending at 5 times the central revenue given to the bottom placed club, roughly £550 million. It would have been the first hard limit on spending in English football. 7 clubs voted in favour, 12 voted against, 1 abstained. The Professional Footballers Association, or PFA, and 3 major player agencies threatened legal action, calling it a salary cap. It was killed in the same meeting that approved SCR. The mechanism that would have limited the richest clubs was rejected by the richest clubs. Without anchoring, there is no ceiling on the gap. As long as revenue keeps growing at the top, the spending gap grows with it. There's also a European catch. UEFA caps squad costs at 70%, not 85%. Any Premier League club in European competition must meet both. Champions League clubs absorb the stricter limit because European revenue is significant. But clubs qualifying for the Europa League or Conference League earn far less while facing a cap 15 percentage points lower. A mid-table club operating comfortably at 80% under the Premier League's rules could breach UEFA's 70% the moment it qualifies for Europe. Qualifying for lower-tier European competition can actually reduce what a club is allowed to spend, compared to staying purely domestic. Alongside SCR, every club must also pass 3 financial health tests covering liquidity, working capital, and equity. These tighten progressively over 3 years. Clubs must demonstrate they could survive the revenue collapse that comes with relegation. SCR applies to the Premier League. It does not apply anywhere else. The Championship still runs under PSR. UEFA runs its own system with a separate €60 million loss cap. A club relegated from the Premier League drops into a completely different financial framework overnight, moving from a single-season spending ratio to a 3-year cumulative loss model. A promoted club does the reverse. There's no alignment between the 3 systems, and which one applies can change every summer. A club that planned its finances around SCR's spending ratio could find itself suddenly measured against PSR's cumulative loss model after a single bad season. One positive thing is that for the first time, someone is now watching from outside. The Independent Football Regulator was established in July 2025 with statutory powers over the top 5 tiers of English football. Every club now requires an operating license. If the league's rules fail, the IFR can impose fines, suspend licenses, or revoke them entirely, pulling a club out of competitions. Its first report on the state of English football is expected later in 2026. For the first time in Premier League history, a government-backed regulator sits above the league with the authority to override it. The 2026-27 season is when SCR goes live. Shadow monitoring is already underway. The first formal compliance check lands on March 1st, 2027. The Premier League has rebuilt its financial rulebook because the old one failed. Everton and Forest were punished with points deductions. Chelsea walked away with a fine. Manchester City remain in legal limbo. The system that was supposed to create fairness produced the opposite. SCR is more transparent, more immediate, and harder to game, But the question it hasn't answered is the zone between 85% and 115% a real deterrent, or just a fee? The levy for exceeding 85% is calculated as the overspend multiplied by the percentage above the threshold. For a club earning £700 million, spending at 90% produces a levy of around £1.75 million. Pushed to 100% and it rises to roughly £15.75 million. Both figures are affordable for any top 6 club. The levies are redistributed to compliant clubs, so the biggest spenders are effectively paying a small fee to the clubs they are already outspending. The points deductions only begin above 115%. If the penalty for crossing 85% is pocket change, the cap is a tax on ambition rather than a limit on spending. And if the richest clubs can absorb the levy while smaller clubs can't, then SCR doesn't level the playing field at all. It formalizes the slope. The first club to deliberately push past that 85% wall will tell us whether these rules have changed English football or whether the league has rebuilt the same problem but with better accounting.